Welcome to Ed Fluential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host, Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. Let's get in. Make sure y'all leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And we're gonna get into it with Zip's update. The men's basketball team improved to 20-5 on the season after a 7-point win against UMass. A very fun game. This was a crazy game. It was a late one too, but it was at 9 o'clock. That's when the game started, which is kind of crazy for an East Coast team. So yeah, the game started late, 9 o'clock. The game didn't finish till 12, but 9-point win over UMass. Akron had 4 players scoring double digits as Tavari Johnson led the scoring with 23 points in that game. Kajah Parker, if I'm saying that right, for UMass, he was great. He had 20 points coming off their bench. A really good game. Like Akron, they struggled guarding him. I think he shot like 7 of 15. I can fact check that real quick, but he played really well, and he was their leading scorer. Like I said, he came off the bench and he went crazy. Yeah, Kajah Parker, he went off the bench. He came off the bench, had 20 points, shot 7 of 15 from the field, 5 of 10 from three, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Added 4 rebounds and 2 assists. Like, couldn't stop him. Then their starters played great as well. Like, they had multiple starters scoring double digits. Leonardo Batol, he had 18 points, 7 of 9 from the field, had a steal as well. Danny, their shooting guard, I think he had 13 points, 5 of 8 from the field, nine assists. Well, maybe they point guard, I'm not sure. Marcus Banks Jr., he had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He did have 2 turnovers, but he played solid. The whole starting lineup, except for Jaden, had 4 fouls. But this was a great game. Both teams went back and forth, especially in that first half. Akron only led by 1 at halftime. It was I think Tavari Johnson, he had a half-court buzzer beater. It was a mid-range shot, though, if I'm not mistaken. We have Tavari Johnson, like I said, he led the scoring with 23 points, shooting 7 of 16 from the field, 3 of 8 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, and adding 4 assists. But he did also have 4 turnovers. So it wasn't the greatest playmaking game, but he did just enough scoring to lead us to the win. Shamad Scott, he had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists off the bench. He played well. Eric Mahaffey just 8 points, but he did add 11 rebounds and 2 blocks. So while he wasn't great offensively, his defense was amazing in that game. Money Lyles, 19 points. He's finally getting back into a groove. He has struggled lately the last few games, but this game he played really well. Yeah, and that's great game from Akron. They got the win, even despite really didn't even shoot that well, but they got hella free throws. The free throw margin was wide, 43 free throws for Akron to UMass's 17, and there was a few ejections in the game as well. But yeah, this was a back and forth game. Akron, they got hot late. They didn't lead by nothing crazy. They ended up winning by 7, but they outscored UMass by 6 in that second half, and that was because UMass once they got down, they had to foul. Had to foul a little bit to try to stay in it, but they wasn't able to capitalize on their end of the court. So Akron, they improved to 20-5. UMass fought up 15-11. And I think UMass, they had a double overtime game, if I'm not mistaken, against somebody like right before that. It was a 3 overtime game the previous Saturday versus Coastal Carolina that they had also lost. So back-to-back losses for UMass, which is really tough. But they got a game coming up. They got a game today against Miami. So I'm kind of interested in seeing that game because I think that's going to be very competitive. I think that game can be super close. And this Akron needs UMass to win that game. And UMass is at home, so must win. Akron, they're rooting for UMass to win this game because Miami did beat Akron in the season. But Akron they're 11-1 in the conference, while Miami is 12-0. So one loss could tie it. Obviously, Miami has the tiebreaker, but then you could just pray for another Miami loss, or they could just meet in the MAC tournament. But a Miami loss would be nice. And so Akron's men's team, they're still doing their thing. And with a little bit of luck tonight from if UMass can pull off the upset, and they can move up, or they could be in a better position going into the MAC tournament, which they've already qualified for after improving to 20-5. The women's basketball team, they're 6-19. They went 1-1 this past week. They're finally putting things together. Definitely lately, they've been putting things together. Ooh, Tennessee and Ole Miss play. That's gonna be a good game. Like the Akron women's team has struggled all season, but now that they're finally putting things together, it's like too late in the season. In their last 5 games, they're 3-2, which is much better than how they started. It was a stretch where they went 3-3 in a 6-game stretch, but obviously this 3-2 stretch looks much more better than that because it featured back-to-back wins. Obviously they lost back-to-back, but these games have been close. They've been playing. They just had a win in overtime. They played Central Michigan, and that was their most recent loss. There was another conference loss, but this game was super close. They Monique Mitchell had 23 points on 10 of 17 from the field, 3 of 6 from three. Narod Clark, she struggled. Well, I wouldn't say she struggled, but she barely shot the ball. She only had 3 field goal attempts, so not gonna do much with 3 field goal attempts. Corny Reed, I don't even know who that is. Did we add her yesterday? But she had 15 points on 6 of 9 from the field, but she also had 4 turnovers. Shania Broom, she had 26 points on 10 of 15 from the field. So super close game. Didn't get any bench production. Only got 7 points from the bench. While Central Michigan, they had 14 bench points. So a close game, but obviously didn't get the win. So they were 5-19 at that point. But they did get a win over Northern Illinois, over NIU, another struggling team. But they just lost to a 2-win team. So we'll take anything at this point. Monique Mitchell, another double-digit point game with 10 points this time and 2 steals. Narod Clark played well, 21 points on 8 of 14 from the field, along with 4 rebounds, a steal and a block. I think, and yeah, Natalie Johnson, she came off the bench with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Played really well. And so they got that win in overtime by 7. 2 struggling teams. Both teams have 5 wins at this point. So obviously it's not an impressive win, but it's something. NIU's bench struggled with just 2 points. Nevaeh Wigatig, she had 22 points. They had 4 starters scoring double digits, but they only had 2 bench points compared to Akron, who had 8, 19, 22, 20, had 27 bench points. Had to count it because but yeah, Akron's bench heavily outplayed the NIU bench, who really didn't go that deep. Well, they did. They played all 3 of their bench players, but Shaman Johnson, she shot 0 of 4 from the field. Conwell, she had 20-plus minutes, but she only took 2 shots. And so obviously not going to win with that. And then so the women's team is 6-19 now. And then for the lacrosse team, they won another game. They're 2-0. I thought I was working this game, but yeah, didn't. So, but I take it. Then just got the chills, so I'm good with that. But the Akron women's lacrosse team, they won again. They're 2-0 in the season now. They beat Lindenwood 11-9, led by Katie Burmer, who had 4 points and 2 assists. While for Lindenwood, they had multiple players that finished the game with 2 points. So really good game between. It was a really close game, super competitive, way better than that first game that Akron played. I forgot who they played, but it was an easy win for them in that first game. But Akron's lacrosse team started the season 2-0. I don't know when they play again. I would have got to check that before. But yeah, the Akron women's lacrosse team looking really good so far this season. Obviously, it's 2-3. Obviously, teams are 2 or 3 games in at this point, so it's not too much you can take away from it, especially when the first game was a blowout and the second game was uber competitive. So we'll have to see throughout the season how it fares, but we've seen they had ability to close out games. And they're starting the season 2-0. So that's great. And now we can move into the bowling spotlight. This past, what was it, Sunday? Yeah. Sunday, the PBA Cactus match happened. That was at like 3 p.m., I think. So it was before the All-Star game came on. And that was before we did the debate. So I was able to check that out. So the USA versus World PBA bowling game is taking place on April 4th on the CW network. So that's going to be, I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for who's going to be in it. Obviously, the teams were chosen. But EJ Tackett, the captain for Team USA, and Jason Belmonte, the captain for Team World, they played one-on-one, straight up bowling, one-on-one. Whoever won, who had the highest score, got to pick their team first. And obviously, they can't pick the same players because it's USA versus World. But whoever won had the advantage of picking first. And I think they get to decide who goes first in the actual game that they play in the 3-on-3 on April 4th. But EJ Tackett, he was really great in this game. This was a great performance. This is the first big PBA match of the year. And so obviously it's going to be different tournaments. The Elite League is going to be coming up soon. It's actually starting this weekend, I think. And so it's going to be some more PBA action, so some more games to actually cover coming up soon. But EJ Tackett, he started great. He ended up finishing with a 266. He had a really great game. He only had one bad frame. It was later in it. It was like the 7 or 8 frame where he had an 8-pin and it ended up being a split. So he wasn't. I've seen pro bowlers get both of those. He was so far ahead that he didn't go for it to try to get both. So he just went for one of them and got that. Excuse me. So obviously that affected his score because he wasn't able to get both of them and get the spirit. But like I said, he was so far ahead that it really didn't matter. And so he ended up getting that. He got that. He finished with a 266. Then Jason Belmonte, he struggled. He had a tough time. Had multiple 9-pins. It's like not used to seeing that from Jason Belmonte. But this was one of the most high pressure situations that he's been in. And this year just starting. So that's already high pressure for both of them. Because this came down to who gets to pick first, who's going to have that advantage going into the captain's match, and who's going to have the momentum going into the captain's match. Because obviously, it's still going to have time to build up to have momentum for that game. But Jason Belmonte, he had multiple 9-pins in this. Then he had a really bad 7-pin. So he just had a few strikes in here, and he wasn't close to catching EJ. So EJ Tackett, he ended up winning 266 to 167. So definitely didn't expect that. Thought the game would have been a bit closer between these two, especially with them being the captains of Team USA and Team World. So it is what it is, but I definitely didn't think it would be I didn't think the score would be as crazy as it was. It's like EJ Tackett, him winning, that's not surprising, but I definitely thought it would be a bit closer than that. So, and then to get into who they picked for their teams, I was just looking at something. Yeah. To get into who they picked for their team. So since EJ Tackett had the first pick, since he won, he got the first pick. He picked Andrew Anderson and Ethan Fourier to be on his team for Team USA. Jason Belmonte, he picked Dom Barnett and Jesper Stevenson to be on his team for Team World. These are some really good choices for both teams. I'm rocking with it. I think this should be a really good game, April 4th when they do have that game. But I don't. Which team do I like more? I think I like EJ's team more. Obviously it's gonna sound biased because it's Team USA, but EJ Tackett, we just seen Jason Belmonte in the most high pressure situation of the year, and this started the year. And you can't say it's high pressure for both of them. And we seen how well EJ Tackett played. He only had one bad frame where he had an 8-pin and he got a split where it was that was both on the end. So he could have got both if he tried to, but he only got one because that's how far ahead he was. It was a business decision to just get one instead of sacrificing more if you don't get either of them. So if EJ can do that and Jason Belmonte can fold under pressure that easily this year, obviously we don't expect that to continuously happen. But this was the biggest game up to this. This was the biggest game going into that tournament. Obviously, you're going to have other games, but those games I don't think are the games that's going to be in the Elite League and the tournaments you have. It's not going to be as important as the USA versus World game, especially the captain's match, because that's going to be for bragging rights. Who's best at bowling? Is it USA or the World? Because it's looking like the USA right now. Because look, the USA we win in a lot of sports, but now I like the USA team. Obviously, I'm going to root for USA, but I do think they have a better team because Ethan Fourier, he's one of the best young players in the PPA. Like you haven't been tapped in with the Professional Bowling Association, definitely check out Ethan Fourier and what he's been able to do because he's like that. And Andrew Anderson, he's really like all these guys are really good. Andrew Anderson, he's gonna be nice for this team. I think he'll definitely come up clutch. EJ Tackett in the final frame. EJ Tackett and Jason Belmonte in the final frame. They both had 10. They both had 3 strikes in that final frame apiece. So Jason Belmonte, he can clutch up if needed, but he can't start that slow. And that has been a problem with Jason Belmonte as of recently. He gets hot towards the end, but he definitely has slow starts sometimes. Now, just for Stevenson, he's a really good pick because he's been in high pressure situations as well, and he started fast. When he's in high pressure situations, he starts fast. He just won the PBA. He won the PBA playoffs last year, either last year or the year before. It's a 7th seed, and obviously, I'm pretty sure it's fan voted. But at the end of the day, the fans they didn't think that highly of him. If they voted him in the playoffs, that's a lot of bowlers, but they didn't think he was better than 7. So he got in at 7, and he dominated. So he had a few close games, but he was able to stay consistent from start to finish and win as a 7th seed, which many people didn't expect. Don Barnett, he's solid. I've seen a few of his games. I haven't seen him a ton, and so he's probably the one that I'm least knowledgeable of. Like I know who Don Barnett is. I know he's a good bowler, but how much do I think he's going to add to this team? I'm just not sure. Like I can't fake it. I'm not sure how much he's going to add to this team. Could he be really good? He could be. Could he be really bad? Also, yes. But I think I'm rocking with Team USA. Team USA, Team World for the PBA that takes place on April 4th. But yeah, I'm rocking with Team USA. EJ Tackett, Andrew Anderson, and Ethan Fourier versus Jason Belmonte, Don Barnett, and Jesper Stevenson. Yeah, I'm going EJ Tackett's team. I think I'm going with them. Fourier, one of the best young guys in the PBA, and EJ Tackett, clutch, one of the clutchest guys in the PBA. When you need him down the stretch, he's going to step up, and he's one of the most consistent guys. And Andrew Anderson, I just think he's going to be really good. Jason Belmonte, I think that slow start can affect him. I can definitely see. I don't think it's going to be every tournament that he's in that he's just going to start slow, but I definitely see slow start. Like if he starts slow in any tournaments throughout the year, I wouldn't be surprised. But I know he can clutch up late. But it's going to be close, but I'm going to definitely take Team USA when it comes to that matchup. Maybe it changed as we get closer to it. But for now, just looking at the teams on paper, I would go with Team USA. All right, got the hot take of the week. Shout out to Black Couch Booking for this hot take. He said, what was I looking for? Oh yeah, hot take of the week. Shout out to Black Couch Booking. He gave me this hot take. Kawhi should be in the same conversation as Bron and Steph. Now, a lot of y'all might think that's crazy, but I don't think that's a crazy take. I think it comes down to circumstance because where I got to rank, I think all 3 of them are top 20 players in my opinion. I already made a video explaining why I have LeBron as the GOAT, why I have him 1. And Steph I have at 11 currently. I think he's going to be in that top 10 by the end of his career, in my opinion. And Kawhi I got at 20. I think Kawhi by the end of his career, he could probably get into my top 15 all the time. But I got him at 20 right now. Then obviously the difference that's separating them mainly is LeBron and Steph having multiple MVPs, unlike Kawhi. Kawhi has a DPOY, which neither LeBron or Steph have, and he has multiple all-defensive teams, something that Steph doesn't have. So I definitely think Kawhi, I think that's the main thing that's separating them is the MVP, because obviously Kawhi got the playoff runs. I don't think, it's not a crazy hot take to me, because when you think about it, Kawhi, now would you put Kawhi, LeBron, and Steph in that same conversation now? For sure. You can argue that Kawhi is better than both of them right now, like currently in this NBA season. But we're talking all time. I wouldn't put them there, but I definitely think it's an argument to be made. It also comes down to circumstance. Like I said, Kawhi suffering that injury with the Spurs in 2017 when Zaza Pachulia stepped on his foot. That changes a lot. And that doesn't happen a lot changes. Because obviously the Spurs were up in that game by 20 when Kawhi left. Then the Warriors were able to come back because he was out the game. Now obviously it's not a guarantee that if Kawhi plays, they win that series. But I don't see a world where they get swept if Kawhi does play. Like, it's hypothetical. But if Kawhi stays healthy and he does play in that game, and he plays in that series in general, I don't see them being swept. I see it going a minimum of 6 games, maybe 7, because the Spurs played them really well with Kawhi. Like, it was shocking. Like, I didn't think the Warriors were going to come back in that game. Then Kawhi gets injured due to Zaza stepping on his foot, and then we had to change the rules of when players are allowed to close out. So that's a whole different conversation. So that whole ripple effect led to the way that guys are defending and stuff now. So that when you take that into account, it's like the take isn't. I don't think it's crazy. I don't agree with it, but when we would think about it, that changed a lot. That injury changed a lot for Kawhi for his career. He was still able to win with the Raptors. He brought them their first ever franchise championship. But Kawhi never, even though he wanted to be traded, he wanted out of San Antonio, he never asked to be with the Raptors. So I think it was smart for him to leave if that's who he never wanted to be with. And obviously, it's not just about the team and the situation. It's about where does he actually want to be at? Why would he want to be in the cold? If he doesn't want to be in the cold in Toronto, then that's his personal preference. If he wants to be home in LA playing, because I'm pretty sure he's from LA, if he wants to be home playing with the Clippers, playing in the sunshine, you can't blame him for that. Like, did it pan out? Not necessarily. No, they didn't win a championship. The year they got to the conference finals, he was hurt. But he's had these lingering injuries since the year with the Spurs. So then I think the Spurs definitely could have handled the situation better. But I can't blame. I'm not gonna blame Kawhi for going to LA because even if he stays with Toronto, what's the guarantee they go back to back? Like, yeah, they played competitive those in the second round, but as we've seen this decade, no team has been able to repeat. No team has repeated as champions. The champion has not gotten past the second round this decade. So what is that? So I don't blame Kawhi for going to LA if that's truly where he wanted to be, but all these injuries, that's what really holds him back. Like Steph, he suffered his injuries early in his career, and obviously it's been a few recent ones that have been like in 2020, like in the playoffs last year where he wasn't able to play. He wasn't able to play in the second round, but at the end of the day, but Steph, he had most of his injuries. His injury problems came early in his career, and he was able to come back from that. And Kawhi's came back greatly as well. But a lot of this has happened later in his career where it feels like, oh, in 2021, if he's healthy, they can probably win that series. Oh, if Kawhi starts the season healthy last year, maybe the Clippers win more games. Like Kawhi's injuries really come at the worst times. Like in 2017, if Kawhi's healthy, maybe they beat the Warriors. Maybe they don't, but it's still a good chance that the series is a lot closer than a sweep. A healthy Kawhi, I can't see that series being a sweep at all. But like LeBron, he never really suffered a major injury until that first year in LA in 2019. Then in 2020, he led the Lakers to a championship. Obviously, Anthony Davis was there as well. They both played great. Had the White. This was the only time the Lakers were a top 10 defense in the LeBron era, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, 2019, they were the 4th seed. Then LeBron got injured, so they fell in the standings to whatever they were at. And so it really comes down to when these guys suffer injuries. Because then LeBron's a playoff rise. He's went to the finals 10 times. He's won 4 and lost 6. Obviously, it's a few finals he underperformed in. And the Spurs definitely had his number. The Spurs, I definitely think, were his kryptonite because while he lost to the Warriors more and they got there more, the Warriors, he performed way better against the Warriors compared to the Spurs. LeBron was not performing against the Spurs. That's why I call the Spurs his kryptonite, not the Warriors. Because he was still putting up his stats against the Spurs, and it was still circumstance. Not against the Spurs, against the Warriors. And it was still circumstances of, oh, Kyrie and Kevin Love are injured. Oh, Kyrie is gone now. Oh, the year where they traded so many players. He played with like 53 players that season. And so it's like, even under circumstance, he still put up the stats. He didn't win, but he put up the stats. He got a negative record against both of them in the finals because he's 1-2 against the Spurs and 1-3 against the Warriors. But he also had to come back against the Warriors from being down 3-1 with Kevin Love and Kyrie healthy. But I say the Spurs are a bigger kryptonite because he wasn't putting up those same stats. When Kawhi checked into the game, LeBron was like, damn, like, he didn't want Kawhi guarding him. So that's how good Kawhi is defensively, and he's definitely the better definitely the best two-way player out of three. And LeBron's prime, he was really good defensively, but that wasn't throughout his entire career. He had some solid defensive years, the years he wasn't on all defense, but it's nothing that matches what Kawhi's done consistently on defense throughout his career. So definitely Kawhi's better defender than both of them. But I also think the biggest thing that's going to sell, obviously the MVPs, but LeBron's also a much better playmaker than what Kawhi is. Kawhi's not a bad playmaker, but LeBron, he's on another level when it comes to playmaking compared to both of these guys, compared to Steph and Kawhi. Like I said, I have Steph, LeBron, and Kawhi are all top 20 players to me. I had them all in different spots. They're all in my top 20 all time. But I don't think Kawhi should be in the same conversation as LeBron and Steph, but that's mainly because the injuries that they've all suffered injuries throughout their career. So it's not to say just because of the injuries, it's the timing of his injuries. Like the timing of Kawhi's injuries prevented him from winning more championships. Like if Kawhi doesn't suffer these untimely injuries, he's probably a 4-time champion at this point. Like in 2017, the Spurs are competing with the Warriors with a healthy Kawhi. In 2021, the Clippers aren't losing. I doubt the Clippers lose with the healthy Kawhi. So I think yeah. And then this past season, I don't think the Clippers would have won a championship, but I definitely think there would be a higher seed if you had a healthy Kawhi. And I'm just saying, enough. That's a lot of hypotheticals, but I think that's what separates Kawhi. I think that's what separates Steph and LeBron from Kawhi, why he can't be in the conversation. That's them, because his injuries happen at the worst time possible. Obviously, it's nothing that he can control. I'm not blaming him for that. But those injuries just come at the worst times possible that prevented him from winning a few more championships and having a few more finals MVPs. Because when it comes to being a playoff riser, he's definitely one of those guys. When it comes to being elite defensively, he's definitely one of those guys. So like from a skill perspective, it's definitely like you got an argument for sure. But I just think, but obviously it's not. Obviously it's more than just skill. But I think Kawhi, if his injuries didn't happen at the worst times possible, he could definitely be a little higher all the time. I got him right at 20, but I think because he's a playoff riser, he's a 2-time Finals MVP, one of the best defenders, especially at the small forward position. So I think Kawhi will be, these injuries, and that's just what it is. Like then Steph, he was blessed to have his injuries early in his career because then after that, once he got past that, he didn't really have any major injuries until the 2020 season when he was already a 3-time champ, and then he won another championship in 2022. LeBron's first major injury was with the Lakers, and that's the Lakers, even though it's his longest stint, that's where he's most consistently been injured, and he's only won one championship. But I think those injuries also could be due to old age, but that's a different conversation. But I definitely think that plays a factor with how often he gets injured at this point and why he has to load manage more with him being an older guy. I definitely think it's time for him to retire soon. But yeah, I don't agree with the hot take, but it's not a bad one. I definitely think Kawhi, if he didn't have those untimely injuries and he had a few more championships, he'll definitely be in the same conversation as Steph and LeBron all the time. Now let's get to the Raw recap. Raw was all right. It wasn't bad. Raw was. It was what it was. I give Raw 5.5 out of 10. It was solid. It was mid. It was 5 out of 5. 5.5 not solid. Raw. Another week where I can't even give it a 7. Like check my notebook. This is the third When's the last time I gave Raw a 7? So the last time I gave Raw a 7 or better out of 10 was the third episode of January. The last 4 Raws, I gave Raw 6.5 or below. This week, leave it a 5.5 out of 10. I already made some shorts earlier, so just to recap those, if you didn't see it, I'll make that quick because I don't want to take up too much time. But to make those quick, what's good? What's good, HT? Came in at the right time too, because I'm talking about Raw right now. So I made, for anybody watching, if y'all didn't see the shorts I talked about the Becky and AJ thing. I love Becky, but that promo from both of them was terrible. Like, I'm just not sold on that. Javon Evans, I'm happy as hell that he won the qualifying match, and you built multiple stories within it. Like I talked about that in my short earlier. You built multiple stories within one match. Like, that was a great way to build multiple stories and make everybody look good. And then Liv Morgan crying, that was ass. Yeah, Liv Morgan crying, I didn't get that. And I'm glad that the people translated it, because Stephanie was saying that Liv didn't work hard or nothing. But that didn't make sense to me because Liv Morgan, she earned it. She cashed in on Ronda Rousey and won on her own. Like, I don't know if Stephanie was, I don't know if she wasn't watching or what, but that program didn't make sense to me. Oh yeah, about Javon Evans. Yeah, I seen that. That's definitely, he was definitely spinning that. But to get, but let me talk about some of the other things. You said I think her route was harder. That might have been, but you can argue her route was harder, but the promo didn't make sense because she said that she was essentially saying that she only wins because of the Judgment Day, even though she won without him. Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think, yeah, you could argue Stephanie's route was harder, having to get it on the Indies, because Leo came up through NXT. But yeah, I just think it was like, because you can't say that she didn't work hard, but Leo crying, I didn't like either. You don't even know what she's saying. And I know damn well she couldn't hear Dominic translating what she was saying. Stephanie was yelling. So I know if I couldn't hear it, she couldn't hear it. But nah, that was, um, yeah, I feel that feels like a heel thing to do. That don't feel like, I feel like that promo makes her a heel, not, like, is a baby face. Should a baby face really be cutting that type of promo? Like, the heel should not be crying. Like, why would I want to feel sympathy for Liv Morgan when she's the heel? Said Julia and Stephanie have to switch. Yeah, I think made Julia if Julia turn. Well, Kiana James might turn on Julia. They ain't building to it yet, but Kiana James could be the heel in that case because Julia, she can't. Because Julia can't speak English. Well, she can speak. I think Julia speaks better English than Stephanie. So you turn Kiana James heel, and then or keep Kiana James as a heel, turn to Julia face. Then Kiana James win the title, the U.S. title. That'd be cool. Because but Stephanie promo definitely felt like a heel. How did the face make the heel cry? That don't make sense. But speaking of, yeah, I think Julie will be a good face. All right, well, let's talk about some of the other stuff that happened on Raw. It seems like they're building for the Division versus the Usos at Mania. I'm cool with that. Division and LA Knight took on the Usos and LA Knight took on the Division. Though the promo was all right. I didn't get why the Usos just stood at the ramp. Like, okay, like, y'all can't come down. I know they got interrupted, but y'all just stood there, I guess. But LA Knight, he came up there and said some funny lines. Yeah, LA Knight, I don't know what the goal is. The Usos and Vision is clearly the WrestleMania match, but I don't know which two members of the Vision it is. Because do you do Logan and Brunson or do you do Theory and Brunson? Yeah, either way, it's gonna be Brunson Reed. Who's gonna be his partner? Because whoever isn't LA Knight, if they, because I don't, do they want to? They might run back LA Knight and Logan Paul. Cause LA Knight still doing stuff with the Vision, so he got to face one of them at WrestleMania. I don't want him to, but that seems like the goal they're going to. That seems like what the goal is. Now, if he won Elimination Chamber, I'd be happy with that. I'd be shocked, but oh yeah, Lyra, her and Bailey probably both missing Mania. They both lost their qualifying matches. The the fake El Grande had one of the title shot versus Dom, so he got a match with Penta. That was cool. Penta won. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it. The real El Grande got involved. Well, what original, I should say. But that was. I wasn't shocked that she lost. I was just shocked that she tapped. I thought she would have got pinned. But yeah, that was. Oh yeah, that was a. Yeah, that's on my notes too. That was a good match though. Like I liked it because Natty. It showed how aggressive she was. He just came out. I think Oscar, she did her thing, but Natty, she was picking her spots early on. So those matches, both the qualifying matches was really good. I enjoyed both of them. Even though I don't like how many triple threats they do, because they do it too consistently. The triple threats was definitely good. They did their thing with that. Yeah, Javon, him winning, I made it short about that. Like they added depth to multiple stories at once, and they don't really do that a lot now. So I love that Javon won that match. Um, Speaking of Lyra and Bailey, I'm so confused as to the story with Rio and the Kabuki Warriors. Like I get them having the segments. Not let me not say confused, but you keep actually confused as to why they in elimination chamber. Because if EO wins her, Asuka's already in it. EO probably win her qualifying match. Why can't Asuka endorse Kairi Sane and let her? Like I don't. Obviously, Asuka's the more talented one. Like Asuka's the better of the Kabuki Warriors. It's not about the talent thing. It's about let's see if you can build something with Asuka and Kairi Sane because I feel like their payoff got to be a one-on-one match against each other. It's like Kairi Sane, she got to advocate for herself at some point within the story. I feel like that would make sense. Like Asuka being in it, like she definitely gonna be better for the chamber. But I just think it'll be cool if if Kairi Sane started to advocate for herself more. Because yeah, she's definitely the abusive one in the story. Like and it makes sense. Like that's not even the problem. But if Kairi Sane at least advocate for herself, even if the same thing happens, even if Asuka's still like, no, you need to do this or that. Like at least can can she stand up for herself a little bit or something? But I don't get why they feuding with Rhea and Io still. And I don't like Rhea being in the chamber. It's not even a dislike thing. It's like why are you I had the same problem with Liv last year. Like why are the tag champions in the elimination chamber? Like they don't any champion shouldn't be in the chamber unless they're defending their titles. So the segment was funny with Rio and the Kabuki Warriors, but it was but I don't want any of them to be in the chamber though. Abby now would Abby now winning would have been cool because it at least because it gives you somebody new. Like even with Lyra, like yes, she would have been new to the main event, but we seen her hold the IC title, so it's like and the tag titles. Then I like Lyra and Abby now, but I think Abby now would have been the better choice because it would have been okay as somebody new because you still got to build the new stars. See the Rhea thing, it makes money. It's just she a tag champion. You did the same thing with Liv last year. It was with what Bianca, Jade, and Judgment Day. It's like these four women feuding over the tag titles while they in the chamber. And I was happy that Bianca won it. It just don't make sense to me. While you really don't care that much about the tag division. So either you could really get rid of the women's tag titles because you got the two mid card titles now. So you could still have, or you could just let NXT have them again. Because NXT has they had some tag teams, but I feel like NXT will do a better job with the tag titles because they actually did a solid job with the tag titles. What else on? Let me cover some of the other stuff that happened on Raw. I talked about the Grande thing. CM Punk's promo didn't make sense to me. I get it. They got to build the story with the Judgment Day, but I'm so I'm not really sold on the Finn and CM Punk thing. Like whoever wins, but it's That's a good question. I mean, obviously Punk gonna win, but I know obviously Punk is gonna win. I'm gonna answer that in a second. Punk definitely is winning, but it's like Finn, he ain't really like he's getting the second shot, but it's like if he loses, which he should, where does he go from there? Because I can't buy him losing back-to-back matches and getting the IC title shot. Because now you got Penta in the picture, Javon just pinned Dominic, so it's like, man, I don't know what you finna. If Javon took like maybe Penta get the IC title, then Javon take it off of him. Like I don't, because Dom already got challengers lined up. Well, actually, they haven't announced it yet, but if they do a Saturday night's main event before WrestleMania, which I think they will, that's when the Dom and Penta match should happen. Because I don't know if Penta gonna win that. But Finn, I don't know if I'm sold. Because if he loses back-to-back world title matches, they got to be some like what's the reason for him to turn face or would Dominic turn face? See, I don't even know what the goal is. I don't know what JD McDonough is gonna do. This whole thing is confusing. As long as CM Punk retains, I don't really care. Um, Brunson Reed is apparently the problem solver. So I guess he's a police officer now. So shout out Brunson Reed. So I don't know what Brunson Reed like. I feel like Brunson Reed could be doing so much more than being in this trash faction. Trying to see is that everything? Oh, what's in the box? I forgot to put this in my notes. Oh, what if I seen somebody suggest Chris Jericho? If it was Chris Jericho, that'd be hella cool. But I don't know. Wasn't It's really stupid. You got the masked attacker, then you got a random box. Like, can we can we just get the reveals already? Like, you can't have these two things coinciding with each other. Like, if you got the box, you got the masked attacker. Like, reveal one of them already. Like, I see the box gonna be revealed at Elimination Chamber, so that's not too far away. But come on, like we got these two mystery things coming up. Like how like can we reveal who the masked attacker is? I thought they was gonna do it last night, then they didn't. Like I'm so like what's the goal here? Like oh, but I think but yeah, let me know your thought. But I give like I said, I give Raw 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't it wasn't good, but it wasn't trash either because there was a few solid matches. The qualifying matches were really good. The If a person is in the box, that would mean someone in kayfabe was locked in a box for 2 weeks. Oh, that's hella funny. I didn't even think about that. Oh wow, wow, that's funny. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, that's crazy. But nah, I think yeah, you're raw 5.5 out of 10. It wasn't it wasn't terrible. It was all right. It was like the segment, like the Becky segment, the Punk segment. The Punk segment I wasn't rocking. The Becky and the AJ thing that really just made the show terrible. That didn't make it terrible, but it definitely like that didn't like that darkened the mood of the show. The qualifying matches was really good, and it was shocking moments like Javon winning, like you build the multiple stories within that match. Bailey tapping out, even Oscar tapping out Bailey is fine because it's Oscar. Like they both former world champions, so I'm fine with that. It's just damn Bailey and Lyra both lost, so it's like what they gonna talk about now? They gonna trauma bond over losing, but yeah, aside the 6 man tag match at the beginning of the show, it was solid, but it's like why does LA Knight have to keep feuding with Division? Like, can he not do anything else? Said Stephanie looks and Rhea there. Yeah. Like it was some all right stuff, good, but it's also 2.5 hours with only 4 matches. Like, okay, it's SmackDown is giving us 3 hours and like 6, 7 matches. Like it should be at least it's a 2.5, and that's on 3 hours. So how are you only giving us 4 matches in 2.5 hours? But you know what? Like you gotta build stories, of course, but only 4 matches in 2.5 hours. Oh yeah, LA Knight probably cooked. But I'm gonna transition from but I'm going to transition to some other topics. So I'm going to transition to the injury report. Um, yeah, first person on the injury report. Bianca's still out. She's getting surgery today. So for those that don't know, Bianca, I'm pretty sure Bianca held off the surgery because that's what a lot of athletes do. They use that as a last resort. They don't want that because you go to surgery, that's going to keep you out longer. So she's going to miss WrestleMania because she's getting the surgery. But it's smart to hold it off because if it can heal on its own, then let it. But that obviously didn't happen. So she's getting the surgery today, I think, or she might have already got it. But I know she said posted yesterday she was getting the surgery. So hopefully she'll be. So maybe she'll be back by SummerSlam because it's healed a little bit, but it hasn't fully healed. So the surgery is the best option now. As far as NBA injuries go, you still it's still a lot of guys out, but the main three that I could think of, um, yeah, I wanted her to fight Jade too, but it's not gonna happen yet. So you're gonna have to wait for that. But for the NBA injuries, Steph and Kuminga both have knee injuries, which is ironic because they were both on the same team. But now Kuminga's in Atlanta. I didn't realize he was injured. I don't know how he got hurt, but Kuminga, I see that could be. I mean, that's unfortunate because they got a nice young team, and so no Steph. The Warriors definitely need him back because the Warriors without Steph, this team has just been going downhill. Like this team is just bad. But they aren't terrible, but without Steph, they're a pretty bad team. It's hard for them to get wins. They keep games close sometimes, but they definitely need Steph back if they want to go on any type of run. So that's unfortunate for Atlanta. I think they'll be fine. Jalen Johnson, Nikhil, they'll do their thing. It's just once you add Kuminga to that lineup, I think it's just going to add more depth. He's going to come off the bench and do his thing. It'll be really good for them. The Shea is still dealing with an abdominal injury, but he's supposed to be reevaluated. So hopefully he'll be back soon. Obviously, OKC, they could lose that first seed with Shea being out. I think J-Dub may still be out. But if he's not, if he's able to return, then that'd be great for OKC because I don't see Chet. I don't see him carrying them as a first option to remain at that first seed. But I see. But yeah, the Spurs could take that first seed or maybe make it a bit closer because that race is definitely getting a lot tighter for that first seed in the Western Conference. But we'll see. Prayers up to Shea and Steph and Kuminga because they all going to add values to their team. But it's definitely those West teams. But those West teams definitely going to need their guys back. Then for the NHL, you got a lot of guys coming back post-Olympic break. Obviously, with the Olympics, you get these teams a lot of time, these players a lot of time to rest, so that way they'll be healed up for their teams. So there's going to be a lot of players coming back post Olympic break, so it's going to be exciting. The NHL season, I think it's really going to pick up. Like it's already been a really good season. Like I made a post earlier, I'm going to be covering some more of the hockey stuff because it's the Olympics right now. I fell behind a few days, but I'm pretty much caught up now. So I'm gonna be doing some more Olympic content for the next few days as we get closer to the gold medal games. I think the women's gold medal game is either tomorrow or Thursday. If it's Thursday, then that sucks because I'm gonna have to wait. If it's Thursday, then it comes on after the podcast. I think I'm on after my podcast if it's on Thursday. And then actually no, because I started at 1, so it's gonna come on at 1:10. I mean, I could watch it while doing it, but I'll make the decision when it comes to it. Yeah, the Olympics is dope, especially the Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics is cool because at the Summer Olympics I enjoy more, but the Winter Olympics seem cool. I gotta tap in more because a lot of these sports I don't know about. Feel like I know a lot more of the sports for the Summer Olympics, but hey, we'll be learning something new. But now, are we buying the last segment for today? Are we buying this? The Orlando Valkyries. They've been pretty mediocre this season. They're 6-5 on the year. Um, I'll respond to those comments at the end. The Orlando Valkyries are 6-5 on the year as reigning champions, but they're fourth in the standings. So that's definitely shocking to see. The only, so am I buying them being mid the rest of the season? When you look at their team, they played 6 out of their 11 games. 6 of those games have went to 5 sets, and they're 3-3 in those games. That's the most in the league, and that's the most the game can go to is 5 sets. So they've been playing the longest games out of anybody, and they're 3-3 in those games. So they haven't been great at closing. They weren't this bad. Well, they weren't. They were champions last year, but they weren't this mediocre at this point in the season. They had set the tone for a lot of those other teams that follow after them, and the pattern has been really funny for them. It's like the longer the no, it's the shorter the losing streak, the shorter the winning streak, the longer the losing streak. Because they started the season 3-0, and I was like, the champions, they look great to start the season. Then they lost back to back, and it was like, wow, what's going on in Orlando? Then they won back to back games, and you're thinking, okay, maybe it was just a slump. Maybe they'll be back to just like they were last season. Then they lose 3 in a row, and it's like, wow, how the hell are they this low in the standings? And then you realize, oh, some of these other teams are still just trash. And then a few of the teams ahead of them, it's like that allowed Dallas to catch up. Omaha got ahead, I think, and Indy has been dominating this season. Indy's been going crazy. And so they're 8-2 on the season, I think. And so, it's like they just won their most recent game. It's like you went from winning 3 straight to winning back to back to just winning 1. And then you went from losing back to back to losing 3 in a row. So the formula has been really weird. And their stats, it won't even show you that this is a mid team, but it's just these stats are kind of inflated because their games go so long. So that's why it doesn't reflect their record. And that's not a good thing because some of these stats, it's like you should be a better team with some of these stats. They're second in points. They're fifth in kill percentage. And this is out of 8 teams, by the way. They're second in assists, fifth in efficiency, third lowest in opponent efficiency, first in service aces, second in kills, first in blocks, and third in digs. Also, I just realized I didn't mention that I was talking about volleyball, by the way. So I should probably mention that for anybody that doesn't know what I'm covering at the moment. But yeah, that's the team that's in my thumbnail on the left side, the Orlando Valkyries, the volleyball team. But yeah, this formula, it's like these stats look really good, but then you realize a lot of these games have been super close. Like a lot of these games, but this is like they had these stats because a lot of their games go to 5 sets. 6 of their 5 games, the 6 of their 11 games went to 5 sets. So it's like, wow. So I don't know how you get. Thank you, I appreciate that. And then Brittany Abercrombie, she's a reigning MVP. She's still been pretty solid this season. She's been playing at an MVP level. I think when I did my MVP power rankings like a few weeks into the season, she was still up there. She's still playing well. Trinity Looper has been solid this season. She hasn't lost a step. Hannah Maddox has been a nice surprise for the team. She might be a rookie. I could be wrong, but she's been having a good season. Hannah Pukis and Trompo Gerpot, they'll play well. They'll play well themselves. So they have 5 players that are playing really well this season that are doing their thing. And but then 2 of their players we could expect more from, especially Natalie Foster. Her and Theodore Puska have been pretty disappointing this season. Like you would expect them to be a little bit better than what they've been this year, but they've just been pretty disappointing. So this Orlando team, like they're good enough to be in the playoff picture, like they are right now. They're 4th in the standings, but they don't look like a championship contender at this point. It's like they're clearly better than the teams below them, but the teams ahead of them, it's like, can they beat Dallas? Maybe because they got the experience, but it wouldn't. Like that'll be another 5-set game, and I don't trust them to close games at this point in the season. Like the Indy Ignite, they were in the playoffs last year. Obviously, they're looking to advance their loss. They're at the 1st seed, currently playing the best volleyball in the league. And so if I do next week, like what I told like the Indy Ignite, like I trust them to be consistent throughout the season. Orlando, they've been pretty mid, but the stats the stats don't even reflect that. The stats reflect they should be something better than what they are, which is crazy. You still got an MVP level player, still got solid depth, but it's just they're good enough to be in the playoff picture. They aren't championship contenders, but they're so much ahead of the teams below them. It's like I've never like this is such an amazing level of mid. Like, you gotta respect it. But that, but I'm gonna answer these questions before or a lot of these comments before I head out of here. You said okay, my mouse wasn't working. Okay. Um, oh yeah, I wanted Bianca and I did want Bianca and Jade to happen because it's two powerful women, two strong women with muscles going at it. And I think the story is simply, obviously, the story needs to be more. Obviously, the big three story is there. I think they should have played into the social media stuff when Jay was going at Bianca. If they would have played into that a little bit, she could have. If Bianca was active and they played into that a little bit, you could have added to the story because Jade she did have some back and forth with Bianca online. Now it is a fact that some people definitely wanted that because it was black versus black, but I wanted it because of the social media reaction, and not or the social media stuff that Jade was doing. Then you had Bianca as a special guest referee. Like I feel like it was something there. They just never addressed it. And so then also the championship would be involved. So I hate you and I don't want the championship because you bashed me even though I didn't do nothing. I definitely thought she was coming back. I thought that finger was in. I definitely thought she was coming back at the Rumble. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Instead of she won, she. No, I think you didn't add. I think they. Um, Not to blame EO because I don't want to sound like an asshole. But if EO didn't pick up the momentum she had, she wouldn't have been added. Because I think the idea was originally Bianca and Rhea. I think before before they entered the new year. But Io was picking up momentum because her matches were so good. It was like just organically she got more over, and it was like, damn, what? Like we can't just leave Io out of WrestleMania. So then you had the shock of Io beating Rhea, and then Bianca winning Chamber, and Rhea having to cry her way into the match. Which that was a weird story because Rhea shouldn't have to cry her way into the match. She lost the title. Just make the rematch clause. So you could have easily did that, but that's why it was like EO just got so over. It was like, damn, what do we do with EO? So I kind of understand it, but like it is what it is. But I do think EO should have retained, but I do wish he pinned Rhea instead of pinning Bianca. Pinning Bianca was definitely the wrong choice. It said, um, when you're done, fantasy book elimination chamber, who wins King of the Ring and Money in the Bank. I made a video about Trick. After this live, check out the video I made about Trick. I booked him to win King of the Ring. I don't know if you saw that. Elimination Chamber. I'm either going Randy or I talked to my dad about this earlier. I think I'm going Randy for that. King Money in the Bank. I'm still not sure. I'm gonna say that for a video in the future. So people been asking me that. I'm still not sure yet. You're not the first person to ask me. And Money in the Bank is later this year, so I still don't know who I have winning it. But give me some time to think on that, and I'll probably drop a video next month talking about who I think should win Money in the Bank. Definitely agree. I think Javon beating. It should either be Javon Evans or Finn Balor to beat Dominic. If it's nobody other than them, then I won't buy it. Either Finn or Javon got to beat him for the IC title. Yeah, Jade Bianca need more story. You think Jade's losing? She might. I hope she don't. But that's. Yeah, I really hope she don't. But hey, Priest. But I'm gonna end it right here. Did I miss anything? Oh yeah, Bianca and Rhea that definitely need to happen. Maybe next year. Maybe we'll see. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Make sure y'all leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what y'all thoughts, share for others to see. And I'll have some more content out tomorrow. This was a good live stream. Peace out and hope y'all have a good day if y'all seeing this live.